So we'll see where that. Let's get into Monday Night Raw here. We can start off, of course, last thing that we're talking about. Shinsuke targets Cody Rhodes. Promo. Shinsuke Nakamura basically telling his story, his own story. That kind of era is Cody Rhodes. And we both won the Royal Rumble. We both lost it. I never got my chance. You never got your chance. And now you're and that pretty much sends like parallel stories. And with this new Shinsuke, with the mist that we saw on Monday Night Raw, multiple times that he's been able to catch Cody Rhodes. And again, every single time I see Shinsuke in the ring, it's like, how didn't this guy win the world title? Like at all. Like he hasn't won it at all in his career in WWE. It's like, why hasn't he when he's that good in the ring? We saw on Monday Night Raw. Continuing to be the roadblock for Cody Rhodes, continuing his story. What do you guys think about Shinsuke and Cody tangling?
Let me go first. That promo on this past Monday was so fire. And I think that was the first time that they added that animation and just made Shinsuke look so sinister and like just like a huge threat. And I feel like this is a proper way to like do a feud without a title. But it's like, I don't know. It's like you kind of have to do it when they don't have the titles, I guess. I guess that maybe that's why the whole Seth thing, it's like, well, they have the title, so you're telling me CM Punk's going to win it or Rollins, whatever. But this feud, it's just like they're doing it right. And, you know, for him, you know, to elude everything that there's similarities and, you know, I'm gonna take you out and I'm gonna go above you to finish my story because you know it's my time, and it's just great heel work, and it's just such a like Shinsuke is clearly the big monster heel right now. Cody's just like the biggest babyface in the company right now, so it's such a great. I think they're definitely good fit to just feud right now, and you know that. You know, Shinsuke's in the Rumble as well, then, you know, that mist is going to be there, right there. And hopefully it misses, but hopefully it doesn't also take him out as well. So, but yeah, it's crazy to think how long we had to wait to get this version of Shinsuke Nakamura. And I think just the more upsetting part is like, look, with time, so much time goes on, it's like, the older these guys are getting, the less time they're going to be wrestling. It's just like, you had gold here, you know? And mind you, English isn't his first language, but look how good it's still translates.
What have I been saying since we started the show?
That's
they can do it that way in the day and age, and it'd be accepted. And it's been working.
Yeah. And you could do this with literally any international star.
Exactly. And that's exactly where I was gonna go with this. Every time I see Shinsuke Nakamura now, I can only thank one person, and that's Triple H. I mean, I think it was mentioned, you know, weeks ago. I think a report that came out that, you know, Triple H was going to make more of an emphasis to show that you know, Asian and Mexican superstars can get over and become superstars in WWE. And I think he's taking Shinsuke Nakamura as his first project, his first rebuilding project, and showing everyone that, like, hey, you know, if you're Asian, if you're Mexican, you can still come here and be a top star through my tutelage and through our booking, through our production team, which is the best production team in the world that puts together these video packages, and. Like Lewis said, you know, Shinsuke looks so much more sinister, and when and I don't know who on the creative team came up with that story to parallel both Cody and Shinsuke Nakamura, but it makes sense. It's on point. Like, you almost forget that Shinsuke Nakamura is a former Royal Rumble winner because of how poorly booked he was from that point on. You know, you forget about that time when he came in and
we block it out. It
was the AJ Styles match because of what they did together when they were in New Japan. You know, you forget about all that stuff, and then when they bring it full circle with the great promo package work, you know, you get a masterpiece. And I'm loving what we're seeing from Shinsuke right now, and then the match with him and Cody. I mean, as far as the finish goes, I kind of knew they were going to go in that direction. With a quick DQ. I'm actually surprised that they even had the match so soon. But
yeah, that's what I was surprised about.
Yeah, but I knew as soon as they were doing it this soon that like there wasn't going to be a clear cut winner because they just started out.
And the match was good.
Yeah, the match was very good. But as far as the feud goes, my only fear was when they first announced the feud was just that both these guys, they kind of need to win so their respective momentum going into the Royal Rumble can carry. I mean, we already know what the deal is with Cody, but since Nakamura's feud with Seth Rollins, we felt that like he was kind of treading water for a little bit. They had him, matches with Tozawa, matches with random people, not like Gable, not having like a clear cut direction of what they wanted to do. So he was in limbo for a little bit. So because of that, you would think that like he needs to have a strong showing in this feud, but he's up against the top babyface in the company who's primed for like bigger things at WrestleMania this year apparently. So from that standpoint, you kind of have that fear, but so far so good as far as the presentation goes, at least.
Yeah, the presentation is killing for Shinsuke, and I like the fact that we're showing this side of him, all this animation work, all the story with him, because it's like there's a legitimate story there with him. There's a legitimate story there, and that brewing and going up against Cody Rhodes, him across from Cody is better than him not standing across from Cody Rhodes, because we were kind of questioning what he was doing with Ricochet, Chad Gable, Tozawa, all these other, like we heard about him targeting somebody, and to finally target Cody Rhodes, it's like, oh, okay, this is where you should be along in your story. You should be going after guys like that, of that nature you were targeting, that you were alluding to in your promos. So to get that on the backside of this and to get this incredible ring from Shinsuke, from him and Cody, I think that was a match that they had on. And I felt like the DQ finish, as Brian was alluding to, was suffice. That was good to continue that story. They can do that another time and then just drag it out. If you don't want any of these guys to lose momentum, just have them go at each other until the Royal Rumble, where you can kind of continue that storyline in the Rumble. But I'm just loving what they're doing with Shinsuke, the importance that they're putting on these type of stars. We can talk about Santos Escobar and stuff like that on SmackDown. Io Sky has been reigning, the Damage Control, basically Asian faction kind of, with Dakota Kai and Bailey and stuff like that. So you're seeing a lot of international flavor that WWE is doing on different levels, and then they continue it. And as you guys said, Shinsuke being the project for Triple H to show that, I think that's dope. And I think it's a long time coming that they can tell these stories, that they can definitely tell these stories. So we'll see where that continues to go with. Let's get into some Judgment Day tension. NXT North American champion no more is Dominic Mysterio, losing it to Dragon Lee, who Dragon Lee replaced Wesley, who got injured his back. He's going to have surgery for 8 to 10 months, which really sucks, because that's what I felt like that's something that NXT needed, that type of driving force with Wesley, who was a young star and their kind of own guy. So hopefully he gets well, but Dragon Lee winning the NXT title away from Dominic Mysterio also causing some tension. The Creed brothers burrowing down the Judgment Day's necks. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley butting heads. What do you guys think about all this stuff going on inside the Judgment Day right now?
And our truth. Can't forget about the truth.
Keeps breaking into their clubhouse.
They locked it.
To start with that, since you just Lewis mentioned our truth, I used to get so annoyed with our truth, because I used to think about when he was taken seriously and they actually did try to make him like a title contender. I remember he had like a match with John Cena at one of these pay-per-views, and they were trying with him. And then years later, when they started going the comic route, I used to be like, "Yo, why don't they just have him be serious again?" Because when he's being serious, that's actually entertaining for me. But then they went the comedic route, and for the longest time, I was just like, "Oh, come on, man, this stuff isn't fun. This stuff isn't funny." But now when I see our truth, he has grown on me now. What's the best way to describe it? The innocent stupidity that he displays. It's just hilarious. But to go into the actual Judgment Day tension, so I think we've reached the point. We've reached a certain point now with Judgment Day. I mean, first we had them building momentum, them taking everybody out and establishing their presence. Then we had them capturing all the gold, and now we're starting to see the breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And started with the North American title. Mm-hmm. Tag team titles are probably going to be next, and then the Money in the Bank, and then the final climax is probably going to end up being the Money in the Bank briefcase, as we predicted in the previous topics.
Nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that probably is going to end up being the nail in the coffin, because as far as Rhea Ripley in the women's title goes, man, at this point, she's so dominant that I just don't see anybody stepping up to her right now. There's only one person I see stepping up, and that's Becky Lynch. And I'm assuming that match is being saved either for the show they're doing in Australia or WrestleMania in of itself. But seeing the actual tension with the Damian Priest, he says he's the leader, and then the 1 week that Balor and Rhea Ripley are gone, they lose to the Creed brothers. Dom loses NXT title. So that's actually very good storytelling. I mean, everyone says you should be the leader, and now it's kind of like we're seeing, okay, this is kind of why it never was alluded to you being the leader, because then when you're in this position, there are negative things are happening. So from that standpoint, it's good long-term storytelling. So now we're starting to see the breakdown of this monster group, and I don't know, like what we're seeing moving forward.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this just brings more credence to Damian Priest and what he's going to play a role here, because all the pressure is on him, and time again it's showing that he's not going to be able to handle it. And if he loses those tag team titles, it's like, where does that put you with the Judgment Day? Where does that put you with your briefcase cash in? It's not as sure as it was. He does have some time to cash it in, I believe, until July, June. So he has a lot of time.
Definitely has to do it before the next Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So I mean, he does have
wait the day before or the day of or something.
It could possibly happen, but it's like you're not rubbing shoulders with your guys in that failed cash in at Survivor Series. That didn't happen. So there's that element of that happening, the failures of all that. Rhea Ripley's obviously going to have a target on her back. Obviously, Ivy Nile is looking like the next challenger potentially, which is so left field because she just came in, but the Creed brothers are coming in. The Creed brothers are coming in so hot, so I guess they're like, hey, we can keep that iron hot with that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Not yet. Not as yet.
Not with Ivy now. Only from the standpoint that she wasn't even considered. They wouldn't even consider her a contender for the women's title on NXT. I do recall her on NXT UK having a title match against Miko Satomura, but that was NXT UK. She never actually was viewed as a serious contender for the NXT women's title. She was always just seen as as by the side of the Creed brothers. So from that aspect, I didn't like that. But yeah, go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, we'll see what's happening with that as well. But it's just like all these signs are just pointing to Damian Priest being on the outs of the Judgment Day week after week.
Yeah, for sure.
Rhea Ripley's challenging him more and more than ever, and it's like something's got to give. Something's got to give. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's continue on here. We have the Miz challenging Gunther again. Imperium was facing DIY, and the Miz, the combination of that. That was a really entertaining match. The Miz picking up the win with DIY, and then again challenging Gunther again.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it, and he's gonna bring the old IC title back.
No,
a white belt.
Stop putting this negativity out into the world.
The white belt.
Right. Guys, I have one question. When DIY was going to face Imperium and they said they were going to have a mystery partner, did you already know it was going to be Miz?
Yes.
It made sense.
Like-
At first I didn't know. And then I'm like, I mean, they, champion him have that history already. So
when I realized the show was in Cleveland, I already knew it, obviously.
That makes more sense.
Look,
That makes more
Gargano was from Cleveland, so obviously, why would he not? Why would you not
have a match, not be on the card?
Yeah.
Not be a Mr.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I just haven't gotten behind this whole Miz as a babyface thing. I still haven't gotten behind it. I mean,
it's the only route they can do because Gunther is the ultimate bad guy right now.
It's just at this point, and like I just said, how deep the roster is. I mean, we could go in a different direction now at this point. I'm just I know Gunther has said. I know they came up with the stipulation saying that like if Miz loses, he can't challenge Gunther again, and thank God, because that let us know that this match will be the end all be all of this feud. Therefore, getting Miz out of this picture, and hopefully having him going back to being the hateful Miz that everybody has come to know and love. But
whoa! Is there a chance the Miz wins?
You're not being serious right now. No, I know you're not being serious.
He could.
Yeah,
he had a great last match.
The fact that they're reintroducing him,
you do not beat the record of the Honky Tonk Man to then lose to the Miz. I'm sorry.
What if it's a new?
You don't break the Honky Tonk Man's record every day.
It's an amazing title reign.
I agree. We should not be doing that. But the fact that they're reintroducing him and not somebody else like a Bronson Reed and Ivar who have been killing it. Ricochet is there. Kofi Kingston. They have those guys.
If you really want to do something, take that feud and then throw Gunther in now. If you really want to do something interesting,
which feud?
Take Bronson Reed and Ivar and just literally just add Gunther to that feud.
Yeah, that would be smart.
That would be
make that be a triple
massive.
Do it at the Rumble, guys. WWE, if you're listening, do it at the Rumble. Do it at the Rumble.
He's already gone one-on-one against Bronson Reed. I mean, I don't think he's gone one-on-one against Ivar yet, but you already got that history right there, so you can easily transition. So I don't see why not.
Mm-hmm. It should have been. I'm just going to say it again. It should have been Chad Gable. If you wanted to create a star and then have Chad Gable play this underdog role against all these behemoths like Bronson Reed and Ivar and Ricochet, like he can have those type of matches. And I just don't know why they didn't do it. And that's the sucky part about it. But just to think that they keep reintroducing The Miz into it. And I'm like, this could be a prominent position for somebody. I don't know if they're going to do it at day one, which would be fine. If they do it at the Rumble, it's like, I think, again, there's just so much more with Gunther that he could be doing. And I think he's going to be transitioning into that main event role. So The Miz looks like it could be a safe bet that he wins, and it's going to be crazy if he does. But it's like I feel like they can be using somebody else. Easily be using
a lot of somebody else's.
Yeah, I honestly thought that Chad Gable Chad Gable was going to get like kind of like a little heel turn, just because recently, he's been saying that like the Gable method isn't working and stuff like that. So I'm thinking like. Mm-hmm. He's probably either going to like turn on Alpha Academy or just like go full blown heel. But I guess at the same time, it doesn't make sense because, again, Gunther is the full blown heel in this situation. And it's like they hardly ever do heel versus heel, or it's like heel versus like anti hero or whatever. But I don't know. The Miz, it's like it's intriguing, but then it's like, do we really want The Miz to be the one to take down this reign? It should be somebody that probably could use the boost, who could use the boost from all of the momentum of beating Gunther. Like that's going to be a monumental moment, and it's like, does the Miz really need that right now? It's just kind of to revitalize his career, and it's like, why not give it to somebody new that actually could literally elevate them to that next step and still keep this like legacy of the IC title going?
Mm-hmm. I hope it's not the Miz, but it looks like they keep reinterjecting him into it. So hopefully it doesn't happen. Let's talk about the Raw women's division here. Katana Chase and Kaden Carter defeated. Who did they defeat? Shit. Indy Hartwell and Candice.
Yep.
Candice LeRae.
And we were just talking about last week. Brian said in the chat how they were actually paying attention to this and giving it time. And then to turn around and give it 2 minutes on Monday Night Raw, I'm like, did we need DIY and the Miz versus Imperium to set up that story? Did we need Maxine Dupree versus Rhea Ripley? We didn't need that. We could have gave these girls a little bit more time to show off a good match. All women who can go in this match, and for them to only get 2 minutes, I'm like, come on. That's not the progression that I wanted to see with the women's tag team division.
Yeah,
I wonder if they were thinking because they did do a promo package on them to kind of explain their characters a little bit more to people who still might not get their whole partying club gimmick. I mean, they did feature them in that spot, and I wonder if they went into the match thinking that, well, we gave them the promo package. The match is really about them, so therefore we don't need that much time. But at the same time, you end up obviously hurting Indy and Candice as well because it's such a short match. But I mean, at least they're trying. They're trying. I mean, these titles have been cursed. I mean, we're on partner number 3 right now for Chelsea Green, and they're trying. I mean, she's literally carrying these tag team titles through these various partners. And Piper Niven is still Piper Niven, but really these tag team titles have always been about Chelsea Green and her Karen character work. Which has been very good.
She's been kind of able to hold it, but I just don't want them to get 2 minutes on Raw. Like, they need more time if they're going to tell that story and build those girls up to do that.
And eventually they are going to end up doing it. I think that's the reason. One of the reasons why they did that package,
promo package,
prepare for the eventual coronation. Because
they're definitely getting those titles soon.
Yeah, they're an entertaining team. I mean, the moves that they're able to pull out, like their finish, is probably one of the top tag team finishers, both men or women's division.
And they're an actual tag team. They're not just thrown together. They're not just thrown together. Like, they have a bunch of history from NXT and carried up to the main roster.
TikTok videos and all types of stuff,
and continuing it. So hopefully,
I've been saying all you need is a good solid like 3 tag teams. One fused with one, then the other one fused with that same one, and then you just rotate it.
And then we have TLC.
TLC. Bring in the Dudleys.
Which isn't a pay-per-view anymore, apparently. Mm-hmm. So WrestleMania. Bring it back. Bring back TLC, please.
Oh, man.
Bring it as a match, please. Hopefully they do that, because it's not a pay-per-view anymore. It's not a pay-per-view anymore, so definitely going to be interesting to see when that pops up again. Mm-hmm. WWE basically saving not the match branded stuff like Extreme Rules or anything like that anymore. Hopefully that's continuing where they usher out all that shit and save it as actual matches on cards. Let's head over to SmackDown here, the U.S. title tournament kicking off here. I wanted to touch base on